Hi students, today I'll teach you second lectures. If you remember, as the first lectures we explained with you informatics and subject of the informatics, and there we have explained with you that on the base of the informatics basically is the computers. Today I'll explain to you computers, what is the computers, why we will learn computers, and what is the architecture of the computers, and else. You know that from your high school, informatics and or computer science has been divided into parts. First part is calling hardware, second part is calling software. Now we are beginning from the part of the hardware. What is the hardware? Hardware is a technical support of the computers. Our lectures is calling technical support of the computers. It means that hardware, stage of the development of computers, architecture and general principles of the computer structure, classification of the computers by different features and the computer's hardware components, main and peripheral devices, the use of computers in medicine. Now let us explain what is the computers itself. You know that computers is program-able electronic device that performs mathematical calculations and logical operations. You know that from the first lectures, in order to enter information to the computers, we'll be using basically specialty devices which are calling input devices. Because of basic aim of the computers is accepting information, processing information, and save information and sending information from one side to the other side. The computers has hardware components and software components which help work with the computers. The storage devices, for example, hard disk, CD disk, and the mouse, keyboard, CPU, it means that central processing units and display devices, monitor are calling part of the hardware. But computer's instruction that can be stored electronically is software. In these lectures, we'll discuss more about hardware and software. Let us begin from the hardware. What is the hardware? When we are talking about hardware, it means that basically we will be talking about architecture of the computers. All the technical support of the computers is calling a part of the hardware. When we are talking about hardware, it means that just we are talking about technical support without any programs. Because of if you will have some question, what is the hardware of the computer science, you will be say just hardware is constant technical support of the computers. When you will buy computers from computer shop, you for the first time you will be read computers, how to read computers. What does that mean? It means that what is the computers, what is the computers has which type of memories, which type of processor, and other technical support. But in the following slide, you will be see a description of all this. What is the main processing? What is the small size of the computers, and the speed of the processor, and the volume of the memories, and as what here has been written all descriptions about computers. What you will be see and this description in the slide, and you will be find this description in your books. Will not stop in these descriptions because it's very easy, and you know about these descriptions from your computers, from your books, and yes, we'll be going ahead. Our modern computers has very difficult architecture. But first architecture of the computers, which has been published by the American computer scientist John von Neumann. But John von Neumann for the first time published first architecture of the computers, and in 1945 years. But his architecture now has come to our present time. All our modern computers has been organized on the base of the John von Neumann architecture. But the difference just in this, during John von Neumann, you know that we had an internet, and now we have internet because of John von Neumann didn't include multimedia system to his architecture, and now our modern computers has a multimedia system also. But see you in the pictures here. We have here input devices and the central processing unit and output devices. You know that all computers in the world has been produced by the two American computers company. Which companies? First is calling IBM companies. The second is Apple companies. But in spite of we have a different type of computers, but they are processing same things because of a lot of architect literature has been written that all computers consist from the three paths. Which path? First path is calling input devices, which has been written here, input devices. Second part is calling basic devices of the computers, which is consist central processing unit, CPU, control unit, and the arithmetic and logical unit, and the registers and memory unit. Then third part is calling output devices. We will learn all these devices separately in the future, and because of we will not stop on these pictures. And then what is the hardware? We have said to that computer's hardware is collection of several components working together. Some parts are essential and others are added advantage. Computer's hardware is made up of CPU. What does that mean? CPU, you know, the central processing units, and peripherals as shown in image below. What does that mean? It means that all computer science consists from the basic devices and peripheral devices, which are calling input devices and output devices. What see you here? This modern computers very like to the John von Neumann architecture, and here what has been written input devices, keyboard, mouse, and other input devices. It means that there are calling peripheral devices, and basic devices of the computers, you know, that is calling CPU. What does that mean? CPU, central processing units, and it's in our language you call it a processor. Then after that comes basic device of the computers, RAM. What does that mean? RAM is memory, random access memory, and which consists from the HDD hard disk device and CD compact disk, and the memory here including different type of memories. I mean that primary memories and secondary memories. Then one chip is calling BIOS, basic input output system programs, and output devices, which you know very well that output devices are calling monitor, printer, speaker, and other output devices. What this is calling modern architecture of our computers. And here, second, what you see on the second slide, you see picture of our computers, and inside of the computers again you know that here power supply and the RAM and the video card, sound card, motherboard, and the hard disk, and you know the CD, DVD, and places for the CD and DVD, and for the flash disk, and it's. But here is located motherboard. You know that all basic devices, you know, that are located on the motherboard, and as micro schemes. Second, we learn with you generations of computers and their characteristics. What does that mean? It means that during history of the computers, we have 5 generations of the computers: first generation, second generation, and third, first, and 5th generation. What does that mean? The generation of the computer. It means that generation of computers can be generalized into mainly 5 generations. Which generation? First generation computers comes in to the 1942 until 1945, and based on vacuum tubes. It means that during John von Neumann's architecture. Second generation of computers beginning from the 1955 to 1964 based on transistors and the third generation of computers beginning from the 1965 to 1974 based on integrated circuit, and the first generation computers beginning from the 1975 till now based and on VLCI microprocessor. What does that mean? Here has been written what here a very large scale integrations VLCE technologies, but isn't the same category as VLCE. What VLC? It means that a very large scale integrations. VLC. Fifth generation of computers is still in process based on ULCSI microprocessor. What does that mean? It means that ultra large scale integrations ULSI microprocessor. And then what is a computer performs basically 5 major functions. It means that duty of the computers. You know that for the first time, in order to process any information on the computers, we must enter all information using by the input devices to the memory of the computers, because of we have said computers basically have basically is processing 5 major functions. Which function? There are following. It accepts data or instructions by the way of input devices. Second is computers will be storing all data which has been entered to the memory of the computers. Third is it processes data as required by the user. It means that by the human. It controls operation of the computers. Then it gives result in the form of output. You know that in order to carry out the operations mentioned above, the computers allocated the task among its various functional units. But all informations which you have processed on the computer, after that you can gives a result in the form of output. You can send information from the one side to the other side, and you can print information on the paper using from the output devices. For example, from the using from the printer. Basic layout of computers. You know that a computers receive data and instructions through input devices. Which devices are calling input devices? We will be learning with you separately, and which get processed in central processing unit CPU, and the result is shown through output devices. It means that all information computers will be accepting using by the input devices, and all information will be sending to the other outside devices and to the printer, to the paper, to the from one side to the other side. Computers will be using from the output devices. The main primary memory and secondary memory. What does that mean? They are used to store data inside the computer. Attention please here, we have said that using from the input devices you can enter information, and using from the output devices you can send information to the paper, to the printer, and from one side to the other side. But all information which has been entered by the U to the memory of the computers, computers will be saving all the information in the main primary memory or secondary memory, which we will learn with you separately. These are the basic components that each computer processes. Each of these components exists in various types and varieties that differ in shape, size, usage, and performance. The user makes a choice according to his specific requirement. We have said that in spite of we have two type of computers, Apple's computers and IBM computers, but they are consist from the same devices, which are first devices are calling input devices. Why input devices? Because we said that, if you remember, computers itself consists from the three parts. First part is calling input devices, second part is calling basic devices of the computer, third part is calling output devices. Let us begin now from the input devices. Which devices are calling input devices? Basic input devices is calling a keyboard. What is a keyboard? You know that in order to enter information to the memory of our computers, basically we will be using from the keyboard. What you know, on the keyboard we have some buttons, some symbols, and some functions. Then after a keyboard comes mouse. What is the mouse? Using by the mouse you can enter informations, also is calling input devices. Then after mouse comes light pen. What does that mean, light pen? Using from the light pen you can enter information to the using from the screen to the memory of the computer. Then touch screen, you will be touch with your fingers to the screen of the computers and will be entering information. Then joystick, which you have used it in the PlayStations and when you play some games on the computers, you have used it from joysticks. Then microphone, you know what is the microphone. In order to enter your sound to the memory of the computers, you will be using from the microphone. Then what optical character reader, what you'll be using as input devices. Then scanner. What is the scanner? You know that scanner will be helping to us in order to transfer information from the paper to the memory of the computers. It means that scanner also is calling input devices. Then smart card reader. Then you have seen in the market barcode reader, and also is calling input devices. Web camera, in order to do some pictures and in order to do some visual your pictures, you will be using from the web camera. All these devices are calling input devices. But now let us explain central processing unit. We have said that second part of the computers is calling basic devices of the computers. Basic devices of the computers consist from the CPU, central processing units, and from the memories, different type of memories. Let us beginning from the central processing unit. What is the central processing unit? And the central processing unit is responsible for processing the data and instructions. This unit can be divided into three sections: control unit and arithmetic and logical unit. What here, why we have said this unit can be divided into three sections. First is control unit, second is arithmetic units, and third is logical unit. All process of the information has been processed by the CPU, central processing unit, because of central processing unit itself consists from the three sections. Now let us explain what is the control unit, what is the arithmetic and logical unit. You know that control unit, this unit coordinates just various operations of the computers, like it directs the sequence of operations. Second, it interprets the instructions of program in storage unit and produces signals to execute the instructions. It directs the flow of data and instruction in the computer's system. This is doing all control unit. And basically, in the simple language, control unit is doing control on the computer's processing. And what is the arithmetic and logical unit? What attention please here. From the name is clear. Arithmetic and logical units. All arithmetic and logical units has been processing by the arithmetic and logical units. For example, this unit is responsible for performing various arithmetic operations of addition, subtractions, multiplications, divisions, and relational operations such as equal to, greater than, less than, greater than, or not equal to, and logical operation. What is a logical operation? More than 0, less, for example, less than 0, and equal 0, and all this logical operation has been processing by the arithmetic and logical units of the processor. And we said that second basic devices of the computers consist from the memory. We have two types of memory, primary memory and secondary memory. The main or primary memory stores information, instructions, and data. The memory unit is divided into random access memory. It means that RAM and read-only memory, ROM. Which difference between RAM and ROM? And you know that when you enter information to the memory of our computer, this information temporarily will be saving in the RAM, random access memory. Random access memory depends from the electric current. If you will be turn off your computers, all information will be deleting from the RAM. It means that RAM is called temporary memory, and it will be active just during working hours of our computers. When you turn off your computers, all information will be deleting from the random access memory. In order to save your information for a long time, before to turn off computers, you will be save all information. You will be send all information from RAM to the ROM, and after that you will be turn off your computer. It means that read-only memory, in difference of the RAM, will be saving information for a long time. It means that RAM save information for a short time and during working hours of the computer, and the ROM will be saving information for a long time. RAM is used for primary storage in computers to hold active information of data and instruction. But now difference between RAM and ROM. The units of the memory. If you remember from the first lecture, we explained units of the memories. We have said their units of the information, if you remember. And there we explained that first units of the information is 1 bit, and 1 bit is a very smallest units of the information. And in order to measure volume of our memories, again we will be using from the same units of the information. After bit come 1 byte. What is the 1 byte? We have said that 1 byte equal to 8 bits information. After that, if you remember, we use it other more information units of information: kilobyte, megabyte, gigabyte, terabyte, and petabyte. And what is the 1 kilobyte, megabyte? We have explained with you in the first lectures. It means that units of the information, as I said, using by the units of the information, we can measure volume of our memories. Third part of the computers is becoming output devices. What is the output devices? If you remember from the input devices, input devices. Using by the input devices, we just can enter information to the memory of the computers, and using by the output devices, we can results sent to the output devices. It means that to the paper, from one side to the other side, and is which devices are calling output devices. First, basic output devices is calling monitor, display, and other technical support of the computers. What monitor or display? It's the most common output device. It looks like as TV. It's a display, maybe CRT. What does that mean? Cathode or ray tube, LCD, liquid screen device, and plasma or touch sensitive. We have some different type of monitor which are calling CRT, cathode ray tube, LCD, liquid screen device, and plasma or touch sensitive. Then printer also calling output devices. Then other devices which are calling output devices. You don't confuse about output, input, and the units of the memory and the primary memory and X. All these technical supports are calling output part of the hardware of the computer science. It means that when we are talking about hardware, it means that just we are talking about technical support of the computer without any programs. And what is the programming language, and what is the programs? How is calling programs system in the computer science? Now we will be learning with you second part of the informatics or computer science, software. What is the software? What is the hardware? And what is the software? And which relation between hardware and software? We said that hardware just will be learning technical support of the computer, and software just will be learning programming system of the computer science. And the relation between a hardware and software you can see on the slide. What here? See you beginning from the hardware, and after hardware comes operating system and application programs and user humans. What again? It's returning to the back, and it will be doing cyclic process. Information will come from the hardware to the operating system. I mean then application program, then users, and again will be returned. What does that mean? It means that all our software and the hardware very close to each other, and during working of the on the computers we will be using often from the hardware and together from the hardware and from the software. And what is the software? Software can be divided into different types depending upon their uses and application. Software just is calling programming part of the computer. You know that without programs we aren't able to work on the computers. In order to give life to our computers, we will be using from the productions of the software. Which products has software? Software can be broadly divided into parts. Which part? First is calling system software, second is calling application software. Now let us explain what is the system software, what is the application software. You know that software required to run and maintain basic components of computer system come under the category of system software, where software required to solve some specific task of daily use is generally called application software. An operating system is an example of system software, while documentation tools, presentation tools, spreadsheet tools are all examples of application software. Even your favorite computer game is an example of application software. All games also consist to the application of the software. System software. Basic major functions of the system software are following. For the first time, reads data and instructions through the input devices. Again, translates all data and instructions into computer's understandable form. What does that mean? If you remember from the first lectures, we said that we have two types of information: analog information and digital information. While you will not enter computer information to the computer, this information is calling analog information. When you will transfer all analog information using by the input devices to the memory of our computer, this information will be transferred to the digital information. But here, system software just translate all analog information, it means that data and instructions, into computer's understandable form. It means that to the digital information. In this digital information, just computers will be understand. Then controls all devices attached to the computer system. It's also due to of the system software. Then processes and generates the results on the output devices. What does that mean? Again, after processing, you will be computers. In fact, system software will be a result to the output devices. What this is are calling for major functions of the system software. The system software consists from the BIOS. What does that mean? BIOS is basic input-output system. Is calling basic input-output system. Second is operating system. Third is device drives, and fourth is language processor. Now let us explain each item separately in the following slides. What is the BIOS? We have said that system software consists first is from the BIOS. BIOS is the basic input-output system, is also commonly known as the system BIOS. The BIOS is a small program that controls various electronic devices attached to the main computer system. It's designed to be the first set of instructions run by a computer when powered on. What does that mean? Attention please here. You know that the initial function of the BIOS is the system devices such as RAM, hard disk, and the CD, DVD drive, and the video display card, and other hardware. Okay, now let us explain this BIOS with our simple language. What does that mean? It means that BIOS is calling test programs. It means testing programs. What does that mean? It means that when you start your computer, for the first time, BIOS program will be loading to the memory of our computers. It means that to the RAM, and will be testing all devices of the computers which are including to the computers. And after BIOS program, just first program which is loading to the computers. This program is calling operating system. BIOS program basically is calling a testing program, which during starting of your computers will be testing all devices of your computers, and it means that conditions of the devices will be testing by the BIOS programs. Then operating system. What is the operating system? You know that without operating system, computers will not work. And using by the operating system, you will be able to contact with your computers devices. Then using by the operating system, you can create connections between computers and the users. Using from the operating system, you can using from the internet and the other application programs and tests. An operating system is the most important program that runs on a computer. It's stored on the hard disk or any other external storage devices. It is the first program to be executed on a computer after the BIOS program. What does that mean? It means that after BIOS program, operating system is the first program which will be loading to the RAM memory. Every computer must have an operating system to operate all its components and run other programs. Operating system is a set of system programs that controls and coordinates the operations of a computer system. You know that where is located operating system? Operating systems, remember, operating system performs all basic tasks such as identifying basic input-output devices, accepting input from the input devices, sending results to the output devices, keeping track of files and directories on the disk, and controlling other peripheral devices such as disk drives and printers as shown in following figures. And you know that all devices will be controlled by the operating system. We have said that where is operating system in the computer. You know that operating system has been written in the hard disk, and it will be loading from the hard disks. And in the following slide you see components controlled by an operating system. What's your operating system as maestro? It will be controlling, managing all devices of the computers, and it means all application programs, monitor, keyboard, in fact all output and input devices and application programs will be controlling by the operating system. And what is the major functions of an operating system? Operating system basically communicate with hardware and the attached devices. What does that mean, hardware? We said that all devices which are including to the computers, in fact all technical sectors are calling part of the hardware of the computers, because of it here has been written communicate with hardware and the attached devices. It's calling a device manager. Second, manage a different type of memories. Which type of memories? We know basic memories. It means a primary memory and secondary memories. What does that mean? It means that outside memories and inside memories and S. Then provide a user interface manager. Provide a structure for accessing and application program manager. And what here has been written a lot of major functions of the operating system. For example, provide basic networking structure for LAN. What is the LAN? A local area network and internet network manager. And a smart operation system also provides a minimal security to the computer system and authorization and other security manager, which all these are calling major functions of an operating system. Operating system itself also divided into parts. We have graphical operation system and non-graphical operation system. And graphical operation system to the graphical operation system comes into the Word Windows operation system, and non-graphical operation system is calling MS-OS. It means that old version of the operation system, which now we don't use from this operation system. And type of operating system, we have a single user operation system, multi-user operation system, and a real-time operation system. There are calling type of operating system. What does that mean? It means that first type of operating system is single user operating system, which allows one user to operate the computers and run different programs on the computers. MS-DOS is a common example of single user operating system. What does that mean? MS-DOS, it means that disk operation system and the mini series. Then multi-user operation system allows two or more users to run to run programs at the same time on a single computer system. For example, Unix, Linux, Windows are common examples of multi-user operating system. But now, which difference between single user and multi-user? You know that a single user operating system just gives allow to the one person, to the one human to work on the computers at the same time, and the multi-user just allow two or more users to run programs at the same time. After that, the third type of operating system is real-time. What does that mean, real-time? And it's a response to input instantly. A real-time operating system are commonly found and used in robotics and the complex multimedia and animation communications, and has various military and government users. For example, Linux and Windows are examples of real-time operating systems. There are calling all this type of operating system. We have said that third is a device driver. What does that mean, device driver? A device driver is a system software that acts like an interface between the device and the user of the operating system. All computer accessories like printer, scanner, web camera, come with their own driver software. This driver software helps the operating system and other application software to communicate with those devices for optimal use. After that comes a language processor. It means that instrumental processor, programming language. What does that mean? It means that as discussed above, a computer system understands only machine language or binary language, and our simple language computers doesn't understand, because of also known as low-level language, low-level language. This language is extremely difficult to learn for a general programmer, and thus there is a need for some special language that is easy to learn and understand for the programmer in order to interact with the computer system. You know that to the some example of high-level programming language are basic programming language, and then C++, JavaScript, and all these programming language are calling high-level programming language. Application software. It means that we said to you that if you remember in the beginning of the software, all software has been divided into parts. So first part is calling, we have said, second system software has been divided into parts. We have said first part is calling system software, second part is calling application software. What is the application software? Application software, it's all programs which we are using daily are calling application software. Application software is a set of programs to carry out a specific task like word processor, spreadsheet, presentation tools, library management software, railway reservation, antivirus software, and else. What does that mean? It means that all Microsoft Office programs are calling application software, which we are using daily. Generally, an application software can perform only one specific job and cannot be used for something else. For example, you know that Word program, Word software, we can using by the Word program, we can just type information and enter information, print information, and then using from the other spreadsheet. It means that Excel programs. Using by the Excel programs, we can automatically calculate some mathematical and logical operations, and it's a ready electronics table. Presentation tools, it means the PowerPoint programs, which using from the PowerPoint program, we can organize a presentation and we can create slides and ads. But all these Microsoft Office programs are calling application software. Then application software can be divided into different categories depending upon their uses as follows. It consists from the utility software, general purpose application software, specific purpose application software, and developer tools. Now let us explain what is the utility software, what is the general purpose application software, what is the specific purpose application software, and developer tools. Utility software, it's you know that after all the basic and necessary software like operating system and device drives have been installed, we also require some additional software to keep our computer system efficient and trouble-free. For example, compression utility software. Using this software, you can reduce the storage size of any computer's program. Then disk defragmentation utility software. When computer system finds a file too large to store it in a single location, it splits the file and stores it in pieces called fragments, which are logically linked. Then a text editor, you know that also utility software. This utility software helps one to create, story, or edit a basic text file. A text file generally stores English type text and can also store numeric and special characters with little formatting. Popular examples of text editors are Notepad, Notepad 2, then other calculator and Notepad, Credit, and QWrite, and Edge. But all these programs also consist to the utility software. And we said that what is the second part is general purpose application software. General purpose application software is all Microsoft Office programs which we are using daily. From them, first is calling word processor. What is the word processor? Everybody knows about word processor. In order to type information, in order to print information, basically we are using from the word processor application software. And the word processor application software is calling first program of the Microsoft Office programs. Second is spreadsheet tools. It means that Excel program, and you know that Excel program is already electronic table. Using from the Excel programs will be calculate some mathematical and logical operation, and will do some diagrams, and it's during practical lessons we'll learn separate the Word application software and the Excel application software, PowerPoint application software, and it's all these programs are calling Microsoft Office programs, and at the same time are calling application software. Then specific purpose application software. Some application software are made for performing specific tasks generally used by the and such software come under the category of specific purpose application software. For example, inventory management system and purchasing system. Hotel management software refers to management techniques used in the hotel sector. It is specific purpose application software. Then other specific purpose application software which will be using all time in the medicine, and when you finish our university, and when you go to the modeling clinics, all time you will be using also specific purpose application software in the medicine. It means that some medical programs which you will be using from the medical programs, and you will be put diagnosis to your patient, you will be do some analysis, and as all specific purpose application software are using in the different type of our life. Then developer tools. When a programmer starts the process of writing a program to develop software for any type of applications. Our second lectures comes to the end. What we learned with you today. Today we learned with you just two type of computer science. First was hardware, second was software. What is the hardware? What is the software? We learned with you, and we said that part of the hardware just is calling technical support of the computers. There are storage devices, hard disk, CD, mouse, keyboard, CPU, and display devices are hardware. And we said that computers instruction that can be stored electronically is software. It means that hardware just will be learning just technical support of the computer science. It means that just without programming part of the computers, but programming part of the computers just will be learning part of the software of the other computers. Difference between hardware and the software, you know that hardware technical support, software is programming. Learning about programming system, and then we learned with you architecture of the our computers, and we learned three type of devices of our computers: input devices, basic devices of the computers, and output devices. Then we learned with you generation of computers and their characteristics. We have said that computer science has passed 5 generations. And then we learned with your input devices and the central processing units and the primary memories of the computers. There are calling basic part of the computers. It means the second part of the computer. Third part was output devices we learned with you. Then we learned with you software, and in the software we learned with you elements of the system software and application software. What is the system software? What is the application software? We learned with you, and in this other lectures has come to the end. In the third lectures, we will learn with you computers network. And goodbye to the third lectures. We will meet with you, and we will explain with you in the third lectures computers network.